and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys. And what we have coming up is a huge video, because we are going to be discussing all of the latest rumours surrounding Frenkie de Jong and his possible exit from Barça. Could we really sell him this summer? What is the thought process behind any potential deal? And we're going to be discussing every single angle right now. It is all coming up. So let's get to it. And indeed, guys, today's transfer roundup is coming to you courtesy of the One Football app, which right now, in a situation like this, where we've got so many rumours swirling around surrounding Frenkie de Jong, this is exactly what you need to stay updated with everything that's happening, minute by minute updates, and it is all right there for you on the One Football app, which you can download from the link in the description below, and thank you very much indeed if you choose to do that. And of course, guys, what we must come on to is the latest right now on these de Jong exit rumours. Because obviously, late last night over on MORETALKFCB, we went through all of the breaking news from Gerard Romero there, as he went on to claim on Wednesday night that it was 95% confirmed that Frenkie de Jong would sign for Manchester United this summer, and that he said that deal would be worth between 70 to 80 million euros. And I just want to say straight away there, guys, Gerard Romero has gone all in on this particular story. Now, we know that since Laporta's returned to the club, like I said yesterday, he has been extremely reliable, and what he's done here with this kind of claim, his reputation is on the line, and he knows that. He knows that if he gets this story wrong, his credibility, it's gone. Fans will simply not forget you getting something like this so badly wrong, and he knows that, which makes me believe that in order to come out with this kind of confidence behind the story, to be this bold with it, 95% sure, Gerard Romero he simply must have information that backs it up. What I think we also have to pay special attention to is the fact that today now, moving into Thursday, has he backtracked at all on that statement? Has he there tried to put a different sort of spin on it? No, he hasn't. Today, Gerard Romero has actually gone further again. He's doubled down on his original claim here about Frenkie de Jong, because he said today that he knows, for example, that Manchester United's football director, John Murtough, he's been in talks with Frenkie de Jong for several months. He said this has been in the works now for quite a long time, and he seems absolutely sure there is real substance here between de Jong and Man United. However, what I do have to say when it comes to Gerard Romero is one thing in particular. Because what you cannot forget there, and I think what we have to pay special attention to, is the fact that Gerard Romero did also say, we're only in May. He did openly admit, and he emphasised, things can change. He did, of course, say that he was 95% sure. He has been extremely confident, extremely bold about this de Jong news, but being 95% sure still leaves 5% of uncertainty. And it almost feels to me at this point as though Gerard Romero wanted to leave just that small element of doubt in case things did change. And I think he has left that door open to cover himself with the possibility that maybe this might not happen. And I think that in itself is interesting, and we should bear that in mind, because especially right now, elsewhere in the media, there are some very different reports. There's a very different outlook pretty much everywhere else in the media right now. A lot of sources say that Frenkie de Jong's exit, it's not even close at all. Forget nearly done. It's not even close to that. There hasn't been any agreement, there hasn't been any talks, and there is no guarantee at all that Frenkie will leave the club this summer. And what I would also say as well, two more very important factors in all of this. Number one, Xavi Hernandez. There's a lot of emphasis right now in the media being placed on Xavi's wish, on Xavi's approval, because it is being reported that Xavi hasn't sanctioned de Jong's exit, that he hasn't given the go-ahead here, and given that we've heard so many times again and again and again Xavi saying, de Jong, he's the future, he is somebody who I want in this team, I think if, and it is an if, Xavi gets that choice, of course, he'd want to keep him. And then there's factor number two in all of this, and that's Frenkie de Jong himself, who does today actually celebrate his 25th birthday, and it's said right now that he can't believe the rumours. He cannot believe what he's hearing. He's very frustrated. He's very angry at the rumours. Because just like in the way that Xavi has spoken many times about wanting to keep Frenkie, Frenkie has also spoken about his desire to stay. We know that himself and Mickey there, they've actually built a house in Barcelona. They're very settled there. They're happy in the city. And De Jong apparently is very, very clear that he wants to stay. And of course, he has a contract at the club until 2026. And the final decision, it will be his. And I think there's one other thing too, a really important factor in all of these rumours, and especially with what Gerard Romero may be saying right now, that is the question here about the transfer fee. Because yes, Romero says there that Man United will be willing to pay between 70 to 80 million euros. And yesterday on MORETALKFCB, we said, is that enough? For a player of De Jong's quality, for somebody of his stature, should we there have been looking for much, much more money than that reported figure? And that's the other thing, because I just wonder here whether Barcelona are thinking about selling De Jong. I think it genuinely is on their mind. There are several board members, I believe, who would be interested in cashing in on De Jong if the right offer arrived. And I think what we're hearing maybe from Gerard Romero is simply about the club here putting Frenkie's name out there on the market right now. Because you mentioned there Frenkie de Jong, you mentioned 70 million, you mentioned Manchester United, and suddenly then I think Barca feel other clubs, they're going to sit up and take notice. They are going to be thinking, okay, is he on the market then? Can we go and get him? Is that somebody who could fit into our team? And suddenly then, you're ramping up more interest. I'm thinking there about maybe Man City. I'm thinking about other Premier League clubs. Of course, many of the big clubs around the world would be interested in De Jong, and a Barca here trying to set themselves up for a bidding war if they were going to sell. And I think it is incredibly difficult right now, guys, to sort of filter through all of these rumours, because once that Gerard Romero story broke, it was absolutely crazy in the media, absolutely non-stop in terms of this is happening, then it's this way, then it's that way, and you don't really know which path is the right one. What I would say personally right now is that on the one hand, I can't believe that De Jong would be for sale, but then on the other hand, I definitely can. Because we all know about Barcelona's current situation. We know the financial problems at the club. They were never going to be sold in just one season. It was not as simple as that. Unfortunately, it was never going to be. And for that reason, I can understand that De Jong is one of the few players that we have who would drum up that kind of transfer fee. You look around the Barcelona squad, how many other players would command 70, 80, 90, 100 million euros? There are not many of them. Because when you think about it, even this season, we have heard Araujo linked with that exit if we needed to raise money. If Barca needed cash somehow, Araujo was mentioned and indeed linked with United to generate those funds. But of course we have renewed him now. Pedri is another one who was linked to Bayern Munich. Again, if you needed that big fee, he is one of the few players who could have provided it. But again, we have renewed him. Those are two players that the club feel are definitely the future. But is that the same for De Jong? Or is he now being seen as the one who could command that high transfer fee? Can he be sacrificed? And I do believe that when it does come down to it, Barca right now are sitting back and they are exploring their options. I do genuinely believe that Frenkie de Jong's future, it is in doubt, and that they are seeing right now what's out there and what sort of money they could get for him. I'm not saying I agree with that, far from it, but I think that's what they're doing. And it just remains to be seen now what the preference is of Frenkie de Jong. Would he go to Manchester United? Would he look at a move elsewhere? Or is he just going to say, I want to be here? Xavi, we think, wants De Jong at the club. We think that he definitely wants to base his plans around him. But it's also then a question of whether Xavi gets that decision, or is it taken out of his hands? All that we can do right now is sit back. We've got to let this unfold. We are still very early on. We're only in May, remember. The transfer window technically is not even open yet, so there is plenty more to come. And I think what we have to do now, guys, and I know it's difficult, I know this is definitely easier said than done, but we do have to stay calm. We have to just sit back and watch whatever is about to take place happen. We've got to see how the club responds, how they act. And of course, if we were to go down the road of selling De Jong, it would be shocking. It would be very surprising still to me right now. But like I said yesterday, it would then depend on what we do next. What the plan, the sporting plan is, looking ahead to the summer. Please do let me know, guys, your thoughts in the comments down below. Where do you see Frenkie's future right now? Do you believe that he'll stay at Barca? Do you believe that Gerard Romero has gone too big, too soon, and that actually this will not end up happening? Or do you see him leaving? And if he does leave, what sort of fee would you be looking for in that transfer? Let me know that down below, guys, for sure. There's going to be lots more updates here on the main channel, over on MORETALKFCB. Stay updated with it all, because I will see you soon. And I thank you indeed for watching. But until next time, as always, guys, Visca El Barça!